Once upon a time, there was a family of 3 sisters. The elder sister, Prunelda, was remarkably ugly. You might think that she was the ugliest woman you'd ever seen until you saw the second sister, Grimessa, who looked even worse. With 2 such hags in the family, it was surprising that the third sister, sweet little Beat, was very pretty indeed. And how do you think that made her sisters feel?
Terrible!
And what do you think they did?
We treated something awful, of course.
As a matter of fact, sweet little Beat was so used to ill treatment that she took no notice of it.
Prunelda, you'll just ruin that poker. Fun's fun, Grimessa, but this isn't getting the floor mopped.
When the 2 sisters tired of thumping on little Beat, they played ball with her.
Okay, put her over. Please, girls, I have to polish the silver.
Then, one day, as Grimessa was preparing another unpleasant surprise for little Beat, Prunelda burst in with exciting news. His Highness, Prince Fascinato, was searching for a bride to share his kingdom and his castle, where he now lived alone, attended only by his Prime Minister. The Prime Minister's job was to serve the prince in every way. This was difficult because the Prince Fascinato was invisible. No one could see him. If he picked up a bowl, you could see the bowl move. If he ate, you could see the food disappear, but you could not see where to. One day, the prince had said to his Prime Minister,
You know, Winnie, I should be married.
Yes, Your Majesty.
I'm not on the throne, Winnie. I'm over here.
Oh, yes, Your Majesty.
There must be a girl somewhere who can see me. You line up all the eligible ladies, and we'll see if any of them can make the grade.
So the Prime Minister had sent out word of the contest, and soon all the girls in the kingdom were in front of the castle waiting to see the invisible prince. Vendors were doing a brisk business in tip sheets and clues to what he looked like. Crystal balls were at a premium, and right at the head of the line were Prunelda and Grimessa.
First girl.
I see you.
His Highness isn't here yet.
Oh.
The rules are as follows. You must first tell what the prince is wearing on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Second, you must tell what his bowstring is made of.
Bowstring like in bow and arrow?
Correct. And remember, in case of a tie, duplicate princes will not be awarded.
If I guess those 2 things, you'll marry even me?
Even, you.
I could use that kind of a break.
And the Prime Minister pulled aside a curtain at one end of the room.
I see you, sweetheart. Let's get hitched.
One moment. What does His Highness wear on his shoulder?
A gold oak leaf cluster and a tattoo that says, Remember the Maine.
Wrong. Now, what is his bowstring made of?
Catgut.
Next.
The next contestant was Grimessa.
Yoo-hoo, honey, I see you.
Not me, madam. Him. What is on the prince's shoulder?
2 kumquats and a bald eagle with a flag in his mouth.
Next.
All day long, the girls of the kingdom tried to see the prince. Nobody succeeded. When the 2 ugly sisters returned home, they were very sad, of course. But when sweet little Beat announced that she was going to try...
What's so funny?
Prince marry a beat-up little peanut like you?
You're crazy. Not crazy enough to stay in this house anymore.
You mean you're mad because we treat you so mean?
No, I just can't stand all that ugly anymore.
Ugly?
You know she's right.
So, sweet little Beat went to the palace and straight up to the throne.
Hey, you, where's the invisible prince?
You can see him?
Sure, I see him, but where's Prince Fascinato?
Oh, what's he wearing on his shoulder?
A rainbow.
Is that it?
It's close enough.
And what is his bowstring made of?
Is that his bowstring? Looks more like the Milky Way.
Your Majesty?
It's true. Oh, fair maiden, you're the one for me.
You're the prince?
Yes. Let us be wed. You will be my princess, live in my castle.
Yes, sweet little Beat was the only girl who could see Prince Fascinato. Her sisters who had followed her were amazed.
You see him?
Well, sure. Now, come on, let's go home. But aren't you going to stay here and marry the prince? Stay here? You forget. I've seen him. Believe me, he's uglier than you are.
You know she's right.
So the 3 sisters went home together and lived happily ever after, which, of course, points to a moral.
Yes. Be it ever so painful, there's no place like home.
Hey, you do something helpful every day. Like today, you walk the dog. So for you, every day, Pizza Hut has the kids' pizza pack. You get a personal pan pizza, cup, and cool surprise every day. You deserve it, because you're a kid.
What the heck is that?
And you did weed the garden. Now you can scare up a Universal Monsters Kids Pizza Pack at Pizza Hut. You get a personal pan pizza, creepy cup with monstrous lid, and spooky trading cards, all for $2.99.
Charlie? JJ? Maria? Is anybody here? Where is everybody?
Taking a look at the new stuff on Nick? We got games, animals, sports, a place to snick, plus the tunes you love. Brand new Nicktoons, Looney favorites, and faces you won't find anywhere else. So don't be the last to find out. The First Kids Network's got great new stuff.
Welcome to the factory where they make Cocoa Puffs. I bet you all go cuckoo for this chocolatey tasting stuff.
You're on, Sonny.
We'll start here, where each puff is packed with its great chocolatey taste. A taste that makes Cocoa Puffs a delicious part of this complete breakfast. A taste so chocolatey, kids can't help going cuckoo.
Now on the back of marked boxes of Cocoa Puffs, one free fold-out factory. Load it up and let the good times roll.
Peabody here, and I'll be with you as soon as Sherman completes his geography lesson. One last question, Chairman. See this spot on the globe?
That's China, Mr. Peabody.
Correct. Now tell me, what is a China clipper?
A bomber.
It would seem you need a little brushing up. Therefore, today's historical destination will be China.
Oh, boy, while we're there, I can learn how to play chopsticks.
Oh, you need a lot of brushing up, my boy. Wasting no further time, I set the Wayback Machine for the year 214 BC, and the place, the borderline of China proper and Mongolia. In less time than it takes to chop a bowl of suey, we found ourselves standing in the center of the bleak wastelands of Mongolia.
What are we going to do here?
We are going to witness the building of the Great Wall of China.
Well, who's going to build it? I don't see anyone.
True, there wasn't a soul in sight. However, 5 minutes later, the place was swarming with ferocious-looking Mongols, led by the legendary Fungus Khan.
Now, hear this, you guys. We ravage Mongolia until there's nothing left to ravage. Now, we gonna extend same courtesy to China. Aso!
Aso! With that, they spurred their horses toward the border.
Is there anything we can do to stop them?
There certainly is. Knowing Mongolia like the back of my paw, we were able to take a shortcut and cross the border into China well ahead of the oncoming horde.
Look, Mr. Peabody, there's a house.
It belonged to a wealthy merchant named Chop Suey Louie, who had made a fortune exporting chow mein.
What is all this jazz about oncoming horde?
It's true, Mr. Louis. The Mongols are going to ravage China.
Well, live and let live. So long as they don't bother me, I don't care.
Yes, but the route they're taking happens to come right through this house.
I don't believe it.
Now do you believe it, Mr. Louis?
That's the 10:15 for Moscow. It's running late as usual.
Well, if it was, it left the conductor behind.
You better take it on Lamb, Buster. We coming through here every day. Adios.
I guess you believe us now, huh, Mr. Louis?
But Louis was no longer with us. A quick search of the building turned him up in the basement, packing enough fortune cookies to last at least a year.
What are you doing, Mr. Louis?
I'm getting out while getting is good.
I could only surmise that Fungus Khan has intimidated you.
No, but he got me plenty scared.
Sure enough, his queue had turned snow white, which is a delightful fairy tale, I might add.
Don't let him bluff you, Mr. Louis. Be firm. Stop him from coming through your house.
That was all the incentive Louis needed. The following morning, after laboring at the borderline for 5 hours, he joined us over a steaming bowl of bird's nest soup.
That takes care of Fungus Khan.
Gee, Mr. Peabody, I'll bet he built the Great Wall of China.
Knowing that only I could construct the Great Wall in the short time of 5 hours, we dashed to the window and saw that my suspicions were correct.
No trespassing. Will that stop them, Mr. Peabody?
Sherman's question was quickly answered, for at that very moment...
Stand back,
Louis gonna vamoose.
He can't go, Mr. Peabody. Isn't he supposed to build the Great Wall?
Great Wall? What is a Great Wall?
It's the one thing that will keep the Mongols out of China.
That's a good idea. I gonna build it.
Being a man of considerable means, he hurried to the nearest rock shop.
I want 1,200 million pieces of rocks.
You want that to go?
No, I gonna eat it here, smarty.
His next stop was a cement shop directly across the street.
Give me 44 million bag of cement.
Oh, you want that gift lot? Dashing to the borderline, he threw himself into his work. At dawn the following day, Sherman and I ascended a hill overlooking the Mongol plains, and there, thundering their way toward the border, were Fungus Khan and his men.
Marvelous horsemanship, Mr. Peabody.
Yes, but when they see that wall, I suddenly recalled that we hadn't seen the wall, and when we did...
Oh, my gosh, he built it straight up into the air.
Obviously, this would never stop the Mongols. All they had to do was ride around it. I had to act and act fast.
Well, that's a pretty great wall, huh?
Stand aside, Louis. There's no time to lose. A rapid analysis of the formation enabled me to locate the all-important keystone. Just as the Mongols poured over the hill, I deftly plucked the keystone out and... The structure toppled to earth, forming a great wall 1,500 miles long. As for the Mongols, they experienced their own version of a Wall Street crash.
Well, it's all done, Mr. Peabody. But why is Chop Suey Louie planting acorns on top of it?
Well, obviously, Sherman, he hopes someday to raise walnuts.
Unfortunately, Bullwinkle is the only living moose who can testify against the notorious Finger Scarnose. But Boris Badenov has been hired to correct that.
Right, to correct the part about moose living, that is.
And last time, you'll remember, it looked as though Boris was about to succeed in doing just that. He had come to the house disguised as an old witch selling apples.
And this apple for moose is loaded. It's got big bomb inside. How about it, big boy? You want to buy apple for nickel?
Are you sure this isn't the worm in the apple?
I told you before, that's not worm, that's the fuse.
Convinced that it wasn't a worm, Bullwinkle took the apple as Boris and Natasha dashed for cover in a nearby alley.
Hurry, honey bun. We will hide in garbage cans so that we won't get hurt by flying pieces of wood.
Hey, what have you got there, Bullwinkle?
An apple?
Hold it, there's a worm in it.
Oh, that's not a worm. The sweet little old ugly lady in the witch's disguise that sold it to me said it is a fuse.
Oh, lady, fuse.
Could be a worm, though. I can hear his little heart going tick, 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 tick.
Hokey smoke, it's a bomb.
Quick as a flash, the plucky squirrel plucked the apple away from Bullwinkle and shot out of the window. Soaring high into the air, Rocky desperately searched for a place to get rid of the deadly explosive.
Gosh, it sounds like it's getting ready to go off. I'll drop it into that garbage can in the alley where it can explode without doing any harm. Bombs away!
Oh, boy. 50 million garbage cans in city and squirrel drops bomb into ours.
The odds against a thing like that must be fantastic, darling.
Wasting no time, our heroes decided to throw Finger Scarnose off the track. They boarded a train and sped south for 2 hours. Then, transferring to a bus, they doubled back and traveled north for an hour and a half. Leaving the bus, they paddled a canoe due east up a creek until noon. Then, setting out on foot, they fought their way west through the back country.
Do you think we've lost Finger Scarnose, Bullwinkle?
I don't know, but you certainly threw me off the track. Where are we?
Way out in the country.
I could tell that by the stickers in my socks. Let's sit down and rest.
No, not yet, Bullwinkle. You gotta hide where nobody'll ever think to look for you. And I know just the place.
Where's that?
A mink farm.
A mink farm?
That little squirrel really knew what he was talking about, for who would ever think to look for a moose on a mink farm?
So you fellas desire to work mink, eh?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll give you $40 a week and all you can eat.
$40 a week sounds fine, but I don't desire to eat any minks if it's all the same to you.
Knowing that Bullwinkle would not be safe until after the trial, Rocky and Bullwinkle went to work. For the next 2 weeks, they mended mink pens, rounded up stray minks, mixed mink meal, and even sat up nights with a mink who had an infected ear. Everything went along smoothly until the very day Bullwinkle was to testify, when...
In just a few hours, you can testify against Scarnose and it'll be all over, Bullwinkle. Then we can...
go.
Hokey smoke, Bullwinkle. It must be Finger Scar-Nose's men. You gotta hide so they won't find you.
Hide where?
Get into this empty mink pen and act like a mink.
What does a mink act like?
Well, you should know by now. Just jump up and down and squeak and look expensive.
With Bullwinkle in the mink pen, acting like a mink, Rocky ran for the barn where he sought cover in a mink meal barrel, just as Boris arrived on the scene. Will Bullwinkle's mink act fool Boris? Or will the slight difference between a mink and a moose give him away? Be sure to watch next time for The Act is Over or The Big Mink is the Fink.
Hang tight. Nickelodeon's Moose-a-Rama will be right back.
The race to end all races. The battle to end all battles. The Pete to end all Pete's. It's Apocalypse Pete. Watch the premiere this Sunday, 7:30, 6:30 Central, on the network to end all networks, Nickelodeon.
What a bore.
Hawaiian punch.
Wow!
Punch.
It's not just red anymore. Fruit juice in yellow, orange, green, and blue.
Punch. Hawaiian punch.
Nothing else has the punch.
Keep it going!
Juicy punch.
How about a nice Hawaiian punch?
Sure.
It's not just red anymore.
Nothing else has the punch.
When you get up in the morning and you want some tasty fun.
Go for Sugar Bear and Golden Crisp, the golden tasting one. With a touch of golden honey for a taste of solid gold. Crispy crunch we got a munch makes that golden taste explode.
Can't get enough of that golden taste. Can't get enough golden crisp.
So to make your morning golden, get the flavor going fast. It's Golden Crisp cereal, the golden tasting blast.
Can't get enough of that golden taste. Can't get enough golden crisp.
It's the golden tasting part of this complete breakfast.
You are in the O-Zone. And now back to Nickelodeon's Moose-a-Rama.
And now for all you co-eds who wish to become scholars, here's Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello out there, scholarly maids. Today's subject is how to get into the movies without buying a ticket. The first approach is to go directly to the manager and say, "Where's my pass?" Unruffled by that minor setback, we try phase 2, which involves a disguise. Hello there, I'm Flo Ziegfeld. How's my show going tonight? Phase 3. Seeking out the location of the freight elevator, we then proceed down into the basement, where we shall then proceed up to the balcony. That's the deepest basement I ever saw.
Is gate-crashing Moose again?
Hello, Mr. Theater Manager. I should like to apply for a job as a usher.
What experience you got?
I've been in the dark most of my life.
Is good enough. Course, job don't pay much.
How much?
Bag of popcorn and all ticket stubs you can find.
It's a deal! Donning the usherette's uniform, we then proceed to our post in the mezzanine. Going through a door, we find ourselves... Oop. Wrong door. Hello, Mr. Theater Manager. I took the wrong...
Where's your ticket?
I don't need a ticket. I'm your new usher.
Don't need no new usher. Just hired new usher.
That did it. I wouldn't go in that theater if they gave me the place.
Why not?
I just happened to notice. I've seen this picture 3 times already.
Realizing that Boris had been hired to kill Moose so that he would be unable to testify against Finger Scar-Nose, Rocky knew that he must hide Bullwinkle where he would be absolutely safe until after the trial.
You want me to hide on a what, Rock?
Mink farm.
I was afraid that's what you said.
Knowing a mink farm would be the last place anybody would ever think to look for a moose, our heroes signed on as mink hands at a local minkery. Everything went well until the very day of the trial when Boris and Natasha arrived at the farm.
Hokey smoke. Bullwinkle, we gotta hide you.
Shoving Bullwinkle into an empty mink pen, Rocky instructed him to act like a mink.
Squeak, 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 squeak. Oh, squeak.
Hiding in a mink meal barrel, Rocky waited in the darkness for 2 hours. Then, when all seemed quiet...
They must be gone. Phew, that was a close one.
But returning to the mink pen, he found that Bullwinkle was also gone.
The mink pen is empty. What happened to Bullwinkle?
Who's that?
Why is this pen empty?
Why, I sold the mink that was in it. Biggest son of a gun I ever saw. He put up quite a fight, too, but we finally got him into the sack.
You saw him?
Yep, the little foreign feller in a black suit.
Oh, no.
Knowing that every second counted, Rocky flashed into the air and followed the tire tracks left by Boris's car in the road below. Before long, he found the car parked at a deserted sawmill and swooped down for a look through the window.
Well, honey bun, at last I will keep Moose from testifying against my hero Finger Scarnos. And you will get Moose-skin babushka out of the deal at the same time.
Oh, you are such a thoughtful little stinker, Boris, darling. Hokey smoke! Bullwinkle is due to testify right now. How will I ever save him and get him there in time?
Time was rapidly running out, and with Bullwinkle only inches away from the cruel saw, Rocky struck upon a bold plan. Sneaking to the phone in the sawmill office, he placed a call.
Hello, electric company. This is the sawmill calling. I just thought I'd tell you that I can't pay my electric bill.
Everybody knows that when you don't pay your bill, they cut off your electricity.
Hey, what happened to the electricity?
Maybe we blew a fuse, darling.
Come on, we fixed it so we can get back to cutting up moose.
Rocky, baby, your timing is perfect.
Never mind that. We gotta get you to that trial to testify.
Right, let's go.
Wait! There's one more thing I gotta do first.
Stopping by the phone, Rocky made another call to the electric company.
Electric company, this is the sawmill again. I just found out that I can pay my bill after all.
Watch, Natasha. Here is a trick I learned in the army. You put penny in fuse box and you get the results right away.
Please, Boris, this is not time to be showing off.
With Boris busy elsewhere, Rocky and Bullwinkle set off on a dead run for the courthouse. But could they make it in time?
Order! Order in the court!
Please, Your Honor, can't we wait just a few more minutes?
I'm afraid not. Since there is no witness to testify, I'll have to find Finger Scarnose, not...
Wait!
Who are you?
I am the Mooseness.
He means witness, Your Honor.
Yes, and I am here to testify. He done it.
Extra, extra! Moose's hero! Scar-Nose and gang go to Pokey. Read all about it. Yay! You did it, Bullwinkle. I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of me, too, for living through the whole thing.
And what about the viewers?
We're proud of them, too, for living through the whole thing.
Don't miss our next adventures of Rocky Case Bull and Bullwinkle Moose.
This Mega Nicktoon Monday, we're giving you a 5-hour-long mega jolt of Nick's most fearless bunch of babies. It's Rugrats on Mega Nicktoon Monday, this Monday on Nick.
Last year, 50% of all aluminum cans were recycled. Millions of new trees were planted. The air we breathed was cleaner. And the total...